Good talk, everybody. Thank you for joining. So this week's story is a short one, short but sweet, as they say. It has to do with the parsha. It has to do with rain, which is mentioned in the parsha, and that Hashem will give us rain at the right time when we listen to what Hashem wants from us. Okay, so the story goes like this: there was once a Lubavitcher Chassid from the family Slonim. He lived in Eretz Yisrael. And he came to Lubavitch to visit the Rebbe Marash, and they were relatives. The Rebbe Marash was the fourth Lubavitcher Rebbe, and the Rebbe Marash asks this Chassid how the Yidden are in Eretz Yisrael, and he answered him. And as they were speaking, one of the things that this Chassid tells the Rebbe Marash, he says, "I don't understand what it says in the Sfarim. In Sfarim it says that the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael, in Eretz Yisrael you have Jews that have very high neshamas." And he says, I know the Yid in Eretz Yisrael. I don't see that their neshamas are any higher than those in Eretz Yisrael. They're very special people in Eretz Yisrael, but I don't see that they're any different than the people who live in Chutz La'aretz, outside of Eretz Yisrael. So the Rebbe Marash answers him and says, tell me, you understand what it means? You understand who has a big neshama, who has a high neshama? Let me tell you a story that my father, Rebbe Marash, is saying, which is the Tzemach Tzedek. Tzemach Tzedek was Rebbe Marash's father. Let me tell you a story that my father told me about a certain Yid in Eretz Yisrael. And you'll see just how special even a simple Yid in Eretz Yisrael is. So it says that in one village near Yerushalayim, one of the surrounding villages of Yerushalayim, there was a simple Yid. He didn't know how to read. He didn't even know the Parashah Milas. He was very, very ignorant of davening. And he didn't even know the order of davening. And so what would he do? Every single week he would come in from his village to Yerushalayim to sell fruits and vegetables. He would go to one of the Rabbanim in Eretz Yisrael, and he would ask him to, every single week, what he should daven. He was so simple that to just show him that every single day you have to do like this, except for Shir Yom and a few different things, let's say for Monday and Thursday, that wasn't even possible. So he had to have a repeat every single week to tell him this is what you do on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, right? Every single week the same thing. And the Rav would do it, you know. Now one time in Cheshvan, when it starts to rain and it starts to get muddy, he said, listen, it might be that I can't come in every single week because it's going to be full of mud and I won't be able to travel as often. So he asked the Rav if he can write down, not just for 1 week, but for a few weeks in a row. And the Rav did it. Instead of 1 week, he did a few weeks. Now it happened to be that the second week, a week later, even though he wasn't sure that he was going to come in, he ended up coming into Yerushalayim. He comes to Yerushalayim and he sees that all the Jewish stores are closed. So he got very confused. And he was upset. He thought maybe what happened, maybe it's Shabbos and I mixed up the days. So he's staying there next to his donkey, not moving, until he sees that a Jew is walking and he has a talis and tefillin under his arm. So he calms down. He realizes it's not Shabbos, but he still doesn't understand what's today that everything's closed. So he goes to the Jew that's holding the talis and tefillin and he asks him what's going on. So the Yid says, today is a fast day. Now this villager became very, very upset because for two reasons. The Rav didn't tell him that it's a fast day, and therefore number one, he ate on a fast day because he already ate that day. And number two, the Rav didn't write down for him what he's supposed to daven, and he didn't daven properly for a fast day. Well, now we'll see why the Rav didn't write it down for him. So right away he left his donkey and his little wagon with his fruits in the marketplace, and he runs to the Rav's house. He runs to the Rav's house, and when he gets to the house, he doesn't find him there. So he asks the people of the house where he is, and they say that he's in the shul. So he runs to the shul and right away starts to cry. He says, "What did you do to me, Rabbi?" So the Rav doesn't understand. So what are you talking about? The villager says, "What do you mean? What am I talking about? Today's a fast day, and you didn't write it down for me, and I ate, and I didn't daven properly." So the Rav understood what happened. He says, calm down. It's not a regular fast day. It's not a fast day that is set. We decided it's going to be a fast day after you left. Because why? Because it's a fast because of a lack of rain. So this villager who doesn't know this, he says, what do you mean? What's a fast for rain? So he says, what's a fast for rain? When there is no rain and it comes to a point where we think we're going to have a hunger. So what do? You have a fast and you daven in order to have rain. So the villager says, okay, so he understood. He wasn't upset anymore. But he said, why do you have to make a fast? So the Rav says, what do you mean? What do you think we should do? So the villager says, well, what I do when I need rain is I go outside and I say, Hashem, I need rain, and rain comes down. So the Rav says, be my guest, let's try this. So right away, the villager goes into the courtyard of the shul, and he starts to cry, and he says, Father, talking to Hashem, is it possible that in the holy city of Yerushalayim, your children will perish because of a hunger? Don't you see that they need rain? Obviously, you see that they need rain. And right away, at that moment, rain came down. That moment. So, and the Rebbe Marash finishes the story, and he tells this his relative from Eretz Yisrael, and he says, "Tell me now, do you think that you can understand who has a high neshama and who doesn't?" Anyway, so that's the story. May we all be zeichet to go to Eretz Yisrael very, very soon, and may Hashem listen to all our prayers, just like He listened to this poor villager. And may we see Mashiach very, very soon. Mitzvah. Thank you everybody for joining.
I am an ancient wall of stone atop a hill. So
remember to hit the like button, smash it, subscribe, and smash it, subscribe, and smash it, subscribe,